everybody, welcome back to the TDSV podcast. League titles, records broken at the highest level, and unmatched credentials is what I would be saying had I got my first choice. Instead, we're here with my dad. So welcome to the podcast, Dad. Say hello, everybody.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you very much for having me. Fantastic.
Yeah. So obviously, we know a lot about you with your career in regards to Westfields and the FA Cup. Today, though, we're going to be focusing on your injury that you sustained at Hereford when you were a young teen, young adult.
Yep.
Which started in your second year at Hereford as an apprentice.
Yep, that's right.
You sustained it at Bournemouth, an ACL to the knee.
Yep.
Would you like to describe the day, how it felt, just how awful that could have been to your psyche? Just because what we do know about you is you were focused so much on football. It was almost like you were reliant on football to take you forward in your career. So how did that feel?
Yeah, no, it was really strange because it was at a time when we'd had a really bad winter. A lot of games were being called off, and we had the reserve team it was played in the MacBar League, and that day it was the game was on, and we hadn't played for about 7 weeks, so you can imagine we were quite we were all quite rusty, the YTS guys, and the honour was I was made captain, and we were losing 1-0, and I felt obliged to go for a block tackle, which probably if I'd have played a few more games I would never have done. And I've never felt pain like it. Never felt pain like it. It just, I knew something. I'd either broke my leg or, or done something worse. But the crazy thing was after about 10 minutes, it actually eased off. And I thought, well, perhaps I haven't done as much damage as I thought I had.
What had the physio said?
So the physio obviously saw the incident and said that you've probably damaged your medial ligament, which is like an outdoor ligament with that tackle. So obviously I came off. I actually walked off. I didn't get carried off. Put ice on it, went home, and it just swelled then to an extraordinary level, really. And they then allowed it to sort of settle down for a number of weeks without any further assessment. Wow,
that's so sad. And of course, then afterwards, you took off a year off football. And you were told by your manager. What was his name? Sorry,
So at the time when I got the injury, it was John Newman, who was really good to us, and the coach physio was Peter Isaacs, who was also really good to us. And at the time, I was on a YTS, which was a 2-year YTS, and I was about to get a third year. But what they did is they suspended my YTS to allow me to get fit once I'd had the operation, because 6 weeks after doing the knee, it still wasn't settling down, and for the first time I was allowed to kick a ball. I kicked the ball and it just collapsed, and then I realised that there was more damage than what had originally been assessed, and that's when I went into hospital then to have it checked.
Did you really feel like your career was going to push on into football then? Was there any signs? Was there any scouts or anything, or was it not quite that level yet?
Yeah, no, I was really confident that at the end of my YTS, I'd improved to a level that I was captain of the reserve team. I was playing really well in training and in games, and I felt that I was destined to get a contract at the end of my YTS. If I didn't get a YTS, they were going to offer us a third year training, but also being involved with the club to have another year to see if they could. We were good enough for a pro contract, but obviously I never got to that point.
Yeah, and just for the viewers, can you explain what the YTS involved? Because as far as I know, what was it? Cleaning toilets and doing water boy.
It was. I mean,
kicking a football every now and then, collecting the balls.
It was. Yeah, I mean, Hereford had gone through a tough time financially, Hereford United, and we were the first YTS players that they'd taken on, which was a youth training scheme.
Yeah.
So it was funded by the government. You were paid very, very little. In fact, but it was an honour. It was everything I ever wanted to do. I left school. I went through school wanting to play football. That's all I ever wanted to do.
And you were a Hereford supporter as well?
I did, yeah. Up until I went there absolutely. Until I went there as a YTS with a number of my mates from school. We never missed a game, home and away.
Wow. And can you just describe for the viewers, because you obviously went over to America then for your treatment, and it tends to be like a regular thing, even in like the highest levels of football. They go over to like America, Spain, isn't it?
Yeah.
What was that rehabilitation what's the word I'm looking for? Process.
What
was it like?
Well, I actually went to America to obviously do coaching and also to carry on my rehab and do it in warmer climate, really. I'd come out when I'd spent 7 months getting myself back fit at Hereford, or swimming, running up and down the stands, and then 7 months after I'd done the injury or had the operation, I was back playing for Hereford in the reserve team league, and the manager then had changed. John Mooman had got the sack. Ian Bowyer came in and asked me to take the insurance money, go and play games in the Southern League, go and carry on your rehab, and then we'll pick it up again next season.
Yeah, and obviously you then came back, played for Westfields, which is a team he went on to manage. We've heard all about that in the previous video. You better go watch that, by the way.
Yeah.
And scored, and then that's when you were called back up again to play for Hereford on the Sunday. And then, of course, that's when the tragedy happened, if you'd like to explain what happened then against Cardiff. Yeah,
so I'd come back from America late on the Friday night. I'd been coaching in Louisiana. I actually came back because was offered a scholarship in Dallas, but I didn't have the exam results, so I had to come back to the UK. I couldn't stay, regardless, and I came back on the Friday night, and Andrew Morris rang me up on the Saturday morning and said, "Do I fancy having a game for Westfields on the Saturday?" I hadn't played for a number of weeks, so I went to Staple Hill, it was, and I scored 2 and had a really, really good game. And then on the Sunday, Ian Bowyer rang me up to ask to say welcome back to England, and I heard you scored 2 goals yesterday, and I said yes, really feeling quite fit. Do I want to go and play against Cardiff City reserve team on the Monday, with a view to seeing how I got on and seeing where I was in my fitness? So that's what I did, and unfortunately, after about 75 minutes, their striker came through and caught me on the side of the knee, following through after striking a ball, and my foot got stuck in the ground, and that moment probably finished my career.
Yeah, and that was so soon after you came back to England, was it?
It was on the Monday after that. I came back on the Friday.
Yeah.
We drew in the FA Vars 4-4. So the replay was on the Wednesday. I never got to play in the replay. The Monday was my...
So many replays.
Eh?
So FA Vars, FA Cup.
FA Cup,
That's all it's about.
That's it.
With him.
But no, I never got to play. I never got to play again. I never really got to play again properly because Hereford the second time I wasn't insured because I wasn't a contracted player.
Yeah.
So I never got an operation for 18 months, and in that 18 months where the knee was bad, it deteriorated to the point where an operation was never going to cure it.
Wow. And obviously you came back so soon. Is there ever like that feeling of regret of playing that game, or do you wish you maybe waited longer to get back into football?
When I got fit, I'd never worked so hard. I was the fittest I'd ever been. Went to America, was fit over there, had a good time, worked hard, but when I came back and played on the Saturday, on the Sunday, my knee. I should have left it for a few more days.
Yeah.
I think I rushed playing. I was on such an adrenaline rush. I'd scored 2. I'd had a good game. I was pleased to be back playing. I felt really confident, and maybe fatigue, and a bit of tiredness on the Monday.
Yeah.
I should have spent the next week carrying on my rehab, and I didn't. And yeah, that's a regret I'll always have.
Did you have anything else to keep you busy? Like, was it?
I did actually. Yeah, I mean, lucky enough, when I came back, a good friend of mine, Pete Williams, at the time, was manager of the Hereford Leisure Centre.
Yeah.
So he was able to give me some hours when I was back up on my feet. Because the second time I did my knee, it was in a bad way. I struggled to walk properly without the knee just giving way. It stayed swollen for what seemed like an eternity because I didn't have proper treatment then. But once I was back up and on my feet, I was able to go and do some part-time work.
Yeah, and again, alluding back to your reliance on football to go through your career to boost your career forwards, was there any panic when this happened and you realise you didn't really have any other aspirations? I know your qualifications in GCSE weren't the greatest. I don't think I'll out him on here, but no. I don't think there were any.
I don't think I would.
Any passes. No, how many passes were there?
1.
1 pass. I passed all of mine, by the way.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
Yeah, what was that like? Was there a sense of panic? Professionally,
I think when I did it the second time, because there was a big gap, because I didn't have insurance. The surgeon who did my knee was a guy called Mr. Vic Seal, who unfortunately said that I'm going to have to go on an NHS waiting list.
Yeah. And
it was 18 months. And in that 18 months, I really didn't know what I was going to do, whether I was going to go into coaching or when I was fit. I was still confident that if I left it for a while, it might get back in, might come back strong again. Once I'd had the operation, but I was lucky enough to get a job, and a really good job, and then that was my next part of my career, really.
Yeah, and obviously, we touched on your time at Westfields after you came back from America, which then spurred you on to get a career in management for Westfields. Which we will get into in a minute. But we are obviously, I think we all know a lot about that.
Yeah.
But we're going to take 1 minute. Basically, what we do on this podcast, which we did last year for those guys who were listening back in December of 2024. We did this thing called Random Sports Question of the Day. And what I find interesting is I've known you my whole life as my father, but I don't know this question, right?
Yeah.
So, do you remember your first ever goal? And I'm talking about when you were like 3 or 4. And can you describe it? Do you remember that? I'm sure you do.
First goal I can ever recall was for the White Cross Cub Scouts. And at the time when where you've got lots of junior leagues now, back then, if you didn't go to Cubs, you didn't know junior football. So I scored at a goal down by the river. There was a place we used to play down there, and I just remember the ball coming to me and taking one touch. I think I was 6 or 7.
I really don't know.
And putting it into the top corner. But actually, the funny thing was that when I was at school, when I played at the school I played in goal.
Oh wow!
When I played for the Cub Scouts, I played out.
How come they moved your position then? What was it? Good with your feet? Too good with your feet?
Well, when I was growing up, my next door neighbour, Paul Cullen, always used to stick me in goal and smash the ball as hard as he could at me, so I was pretty good as a goalkeeper.
That's what I do when we play.
Yeah, he does.
As well.
Absolutely does.
Just trying to hurt him.
So, yeah, I actually started as a goalkeeper, and it was only the fact that I could kick the ball so long and so hard that I came out and played in defence. I played up front for the Cub Scouts, but I then went on to be a defender.
Wow.
Because I wasn't quick enough to be a striker. I could hit the ball, but I could defend and I could head a ball. And then in goal, I could, I played for the team, the next team up in the school year. And that's where I was. I started as a goalkeeper.
Did you want to be a defender, or did you want to play?
I wanted to be Brian Robson. Played for, that's who was the person I looked up to when I was growing up. He was always my idol. But back then, you didn't really have a lot of. We didn't have a telly. I had to go around my next door neighbour's house to watch Star Soccer on a Sunday when they played in the mud. And but we played all the time. We played out in the. We could never get us in, but I was always ended up in goal.
Well, that's great then. Okay, moving on. We don't usually do 2 random questions, but I'm going to do another one because I'm curious.
Right, go on then.
What's your worst ever moment playing football, other than obviously the injury? But I mean embarrassment. I'm talking really embarrassing. That's what I want to hear.
And it's gonna it's gonna sound a little bit probably big-headed.
Okay,
but I was the penalty taker for our under-13s for lads when I played for Lads Club as I was growing up, and I had scored 13 every penalty, and I missed the one in the final. And I remember that like it was. That's probably the first game I can ever remember that we had a game recorded. Oh no!
Just to make it worse.
Yeah, a guy called Simon Davis, his dad Pete Davis, videoed it, and it was
wow.
Yeah, that was I hit the post at Egger Street. That was my first playing on their pitch.
Not quite as bad as what I heard about him a few weeks ago, though. Tell him the cricket story.
What's that? Oh my god!
That's what I only just found this out, by the way.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic.
A bit embarrassing. I love cricket.
I didn't warn him I was going to ask him this.
No, you didn't actually.
So I put him on the spot.
So I was like most people when you played sport. If you were playing football, you played basketball, you played cricket, and you played rugby. But I played cricket, and I was an opening batsman and captain of the cricket team. And we played in the semi-final of the Cup at Kingston. And as normal, I would have maybe gone in and as opening batsman, never scored any runs, but never got out. I'm just a plodder. And I was a part-time bowler. And anyway, we finished our innings. I think you got like 10 overs or 20 overs, whatever it was. And they needed 22 runs on the last over, and we had a really good bowler called Daniel Craddock. Unfortunately, he's not with us now, but tall, good bowler, but he hadn't done so well in the round in the over before. Went for about 12 or 14, I think. So I took rank and took over and bowled the last round, and they got 23 in 5 balls. And we went out the semi-final. So, needless to say, I wasn't very popular.
That's one of my favourite stories now, after hearing that.
Yeah.
Okay, then, moving on. So, then you went into management, played for Westfield. This is probably when your football career was probably peaked, wasn't it, in management? Describe the transition of going from player to manager.
Well, I went... So... When I was when I was waiting for the operation and I was back up on my feet again, I just went down to watch Westfield's training, and I'd already done my coaching badge.
Yep.
So I went down there and they asked, did I want to help out with a bit of coaching?
Yep.
And I said, yeah, but it keeps me involved. So I got involved with coaching. That led into being assistant manager. And I did that really, came back and started playing indoor football where I could. But that was really the start of my career. That was probably 1990.
Yeah.
And I did that till for 10 years as an assistant or coach.
Yep. And what was your best moment then in management?
Well, obviously the FA Cup.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening to the Try Drive side of my podcast. This has been Sam and his dad Sean. So say goodbye to the viewers at home.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and sorry you have to listen to me.
But yes, thank you for listening. I'm sure we'll be back at some point soon. Cheerio.
Cheers.